What is up, boys? It is YaroWins again, and welcome to my first formation and tactics video for FIFA 22. Now, you may have seen from last year, if you've been watching my channel since then, that the 3-5-2 or 3 at the back formations were quite effective and quite fun to use at the start of the game. Now, just playing this trial, I found it fairly difficult. I found it fairly challenging to find the best system and the best formation basically to use. But I found that, again, the 3-5-2 or 3-4-1-2 in this case, it works very well. It gives the best balance for this game in terms of having the attacking threat, having width and pace is important, it's still important. And especially now with the upgraded pace of the centre-backs, especially in Serie A, this system has been very effective, very fun to use. So I'm going to basically go through all of the instructions, all of the different tactics, and show you the gameplay. So getting straight into it, we will go for the instructions and the actual tactics themselves. Now, as always, if you've been watching my channel, if you watch my previous videos, I've always been a big proponent of the pressure and heavy touch defensive style. So in FIFA 22, it's still going to be very important to win the ball quickly, get possession, and essentially not give your opponent a lot of time on the ball. So again, it's very self-explanatory. With this system as well, both of my sort of central midfielders, they're box to box. Although I do have them to stay back, they do a lot of work in the middle there, and essentially I want them to win the ball as quickly as possible, intercept, and then obviously help as well in the attacking sense. But I found that being too passive in this game, it just allows your opponent to really dictate the tempo, control possession, and it is very hard to stop. So in terms of the width and depth, again, because I'm playing with 3 centre-backs and technically no full-backs, I've gone a bit low on the depth, so 45 in this new system, because as you may have remembered beforehand, it was 10 bars, similar to, as you can see, the players in the box. But now they've changed the system slightly to a more numerical system. So yeah, in terms of the depth, I've gone slightly below balanced. So at 45, I think that gives the best balance, as I say, in terms of not obviously dropping back too deep, but also not being sort of too high up the pitch to basically lose the ball and leave yourself open and at risk. In terms of the width, I've gone at 55 for both the defensive and the offensive style, because I think in this system you have to make use and really use those, well, the left and right mid. It's hard to really call them midfielders or wingers or fullbacks because they do a lot of work. So they're going to be very important in terms of obviously tracking back and also on a counter attack, and when you're attacking, to give you the extra men on the sides. They also obviously can have decoy runs, which is going to basically make more space for your central players. So I've gone slightly above balance for that. Again, nothing crazy. I think this is a system that we're still trying to sort of play around with, see how it works and make sort of tweaks to it if needed. But yeah, just slightly above balanced for both the defensive and the offensive side. Now, chance creation. This has changed as well. They've introduced a couple of new things, and this is very important, I think. I've been sort of experimenting, and I found it initially very difficult to score and even make chances. So what I found is the direct passing is probably the best system and the best tactic you can use for this, especially depending on which players you have. But if you have good strikers with decent pace, decent positioning, as you can see in the little sort of explainer there, it says once the team enters the attacking zone with the possession players, they will create chances by making runs or passes into space behind obviously the back line. So yeah, you need strikers who are fast, good at that positioning, and you're going to get a lot of space, and you're going to get a lot of runners, and it's going to be very difficult to defend because obviously your opponent is going to need to decide which player he's going to track and more often than not I found it's given me a lot of chances, a lot more space on the pitch when I'm attacking. And yeah, in terms of like some of the other ones, possession is a bit slow, balanced is alright, but I think direct passing is better. Forward runs, it's a bit too risky because if you lose the ball, you're sort of going too all-out attack with that. So yeah, direct passing I think is the best system. I think in general through balls have been very overpowered. That may change, but right now I think that is something that you would want to use as much as possible. Now players in box, again, I found that to score goals you do need to pressure the opponent. Goalkeepers are very overpowered so far, before they obviously patch this. I think at some point they will, but you do really want players to get in there and obviously have more options, have more attacking threat. If you have players that potentially could score rebounds as well from the keeper saves, so slightly above balance on that as well. So 7 bars. And then corners and free kicks, again, this doesn't really matter. I haven't found that set pieces are that effective, so yeah, just depending on how much risk you want to take with those, or if you play short corners, or obviously if you have players that can head the ball. I have scored a few, but it's not something that I would say is a major tactic that you'd want to use. Now, in terms of the instructions, so for both strikers I've gone stay central, getting behind, stay forward. For the attacking mid, also stay forward, get into the box, free roam, conservative interceptions. So you don't really want this guy doing any defensive work, you want him basically free roaming, putting those through balls through to your strikers. And the reason as well for that is the 2 central mids, I've gone stay back while attacking, cover centre for both. So cover centre for both, and balanced crossing runs for both. So you basically, yeah, you want them to do a lot of the work basically. They're going to be going back and forth, so you want players with high stamina. I think Barella has something like 95 stamina, so just aim to get players that obviously can do a lot of running. And for your wingers, again, they're not really wingers, they're more fullbacks, but again, depending on which phase of the play you're at or in. If you're defending, they can become obviously fullbacks. If you're attacking, they're going to become wingers. So for both of them, I want them to stay wide, balance support, balance defense, and stay on the edge of the box for the cross, because you don't really want too many players getting up there. You want them staying on the edge. And yeah, pretty much that is it. The centre backs you don't really touch, goalkeeper you don't really touch. And yeah, those are the instructions. That is the system. And yeah, let's get into some actual gameplay footage from Rivals to see how effective this is, and basically show you why this formation may be the one that you start with your first squad. Let's get into it. So guys, as always, we basically get into the clips, we look at how the system plays in the game, and yeah, basically some highlights and showing you exactly how it works, what the strengths and weaknesses are. Now in this particular clip, you can see immediately the pressure is really essentially putting the opponent under pressure to make mistakes. And I get that chance. Actually, this is the first match I was recording, and made a slow start, wasn't focusing, so went 2 goals down. Had to really test myself, but yeah, that got me back into the game. And you see the main thing is these quick transitions and making use of basically the width of the pitch. The left mid, the right mid, they create that space, they are outlets, and as you can see, you have a lot of players in the box. At that point, pretty much all 5 players in the box. Obviously get that goal as well, a nice goal from the crosses. Now, I haven't fully understood if crosses are really a meta option, but I think potentially definitely much more than FIFA 21. And again, as you can see in this clip, making full use of the width of the pitch. Get another chance here, another cross, another goal. So yeah, this could potentially be something that you could look into, implementing as many crosses as possible if you're getting these players into the box. Now, again, this will show you another transition from defense to attack. So at this point, you can see I've got a lot of defensive cover. A lot of players are coming back to cover the spaces. There's no real space for the basically offensive team to get forward. There's a nice interception, and then I can start playing again on the counter attack. So I lose the ball there, but the centre back pushes forward. The left mid keeps going, and you see that great run and a great finish. And again, that's one thing that I'll say I definitely like with this system, making use of the width, but also when you're defending, they essentially tuck in and it almost becomes a 5 at the back. Now again, you can see with the pressure tactic, covering those spaces, winning the ball back. Again, using the width, that outlet, get a bit lucky there, lose the ball, but you're going to see in a minute where basically I win the ball back from a mistake and I get the goal. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. If this system and this video helped you out, definitely leave a like, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be much more content, many more formation and tactics guides. So yeah guys, stay tuned. Thank you for watching and peace.